Hey, Christine.
Hi, Amy. How are you today?
I am good. I'm waiting for the kiln to cool down so I can reload it with a project that is due today. And if our guest is listening, I'm actually just kidding, and it's already done, and it's turned in, and nothing to worry about here. What's
I
going
think
on with you?
we've all been there first off, and second off, I'm just running through some new projects and programs and doing all the fun things. So I'm excited to be here and to talk with our guest.
Yeah, me too. Should we go ahead and bring her in?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have Lisa Feltz here in the house. Lisa is the marketing and sales director for Bisque Imports.
Woo! Hey, Lisa.
Hey, everybody. Hey, guys.
Do you like
waving like you can see me?
Right. Do you like the peek behind the curtain when right before we press record, we're like, wait, so how do we do this again?
Yeah. All good.
Nice. Well, Lisa, thanks for being here. Do you want to tell us a little bit about like how you got started in PYOP, like where you were before that, how long you've been here? Just give us the full rundown. Everything.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I pre-apologize to people who have heard this a million times because I have been in the industry for a long, long time. I opened my very first store in April of 1999. Actually, March 31st is the real story because I refused to open on April Fool's Day. So I opened on March 31st. About through, it wasn't even that long. 2 years later, I was approached by Chesapeake Ceramics, actually, because I'm out of Baltimore, and they were looking for someone to help people open stores because way back then it was super new. People were opening all over the place. So I started doing trainings for them. That morphed into 2008. I started doing marketing and sales stuff with them kind of full time. So since 1999, I have had 4 of my own stores. And I love to tell the story. Like I've had the big ones, the little ones. I've moved one 3 times. Like, I've done all the things. I've closed them. I've closed them the horrible way. They weren't making money. I've sold them the good way. They were making money. If you've got a story, I've probably done it. And then within the supplier side, I'm just fortunately, was, happy enough to be a lot. I've helped over 100 studios open across the country. I've done a lot with like designing pieces and marketing and sales. So just really kind of been immersed, and I love this industry so much, and I always have, obviously, that I just have really been blessed to have been such a part of it and able to, wherever I can, my goal is help us all stay healthy, successful, studio suppliers, basically the whole package, really.
Yeah. It's amazing. I got to tell you, I'm in a newer studio. We started September 2019, and it was so funny because I felt like I've known you from the beginning. Like you might have loved the interview, but we love you. Like everyone's like, but did you see Lisa do something? I'm like, oh, let me go look up something. So I think that you are definitely recognized for that love in the world of PYOP.
Thank you. Yeah. And so Bisque Imports, and that's around the same time, I did decide when the pandemic hit, my business partner, Megan, and we had kind of had a, sort of a plus. Everybody they would approach me like, oh, I'm so sorry you had to close your studio. And we were like, yeah, no, we were on the plus side of that. We actually wanted to move it, and we had 3 years left on the lease. And so fortunately for us, the landlord said that they would let us out of our lease. And that was in May of 2020. And we were like, absolutely. So that was a great thing for our business. We were able to not have to deal with all of that. We could, the stronger store stayed open. Megan now owns that completely by herself. And then for me, it was a good choice to close the studio, but I was kind of like, what am I going to do? And so I had a business plan at the time, which was very funny because of course one should start a business in the middle of a pandemic. Some of us did, right? And I was like all for it. But my only other idea was, I said, the only other thing that I can see myself doing is anything that I can possibly do to help everybody get through this. At the time, you didn't even know what that meant. Like, I don't even know what I'm kind of talking about. Like, what's it going to be? Where are we going to suffer? How can I help? What can I do? And so I went to Bisque Imports and I said, listen, I don't know what's going to happen. You're not necessarily hiring anybody, but if there's any room in your, company for me, all I want to do is get in there and just help. Like give me whatever title. And I think at the time I started, my title was resource and training director. I was like, whatever, well, I'll bring resources. And so it was so wonderful and indicative of our industry that in the middle of a pandemic, while not hiring, Bisque Imports said, absolutely. And they brought me in, and they were, from the get-go, they've been really open to ideas. I do think one of the things about Bisque Imports that's really amazing that we as an industry benefit from is, the DJ, the owner, is very much a creative and an entrepreneur, and he is not afraid to try a thing. So, you can come to him with an idea and you try it out, and some of them stick and some of them don't, anything from programs all the way down to shapes and pieces. He's all for like, let's try it and see if it works. And so that's been wonderful. So I've been with them since 2020, and sort of wiggled my way around to, my current title, which is marketing and sales director. But really it's, you guys know, once you're a go-to girl, that's what you are. You're kind of everything. Yeah. All the jobs. I'll do any of the jobs, whatever you want me to do.
Yeah, I get to, as a person that does, some contract work with Bisque Imports, I get to work with you very closely, which has been really nice to get to know you more since 2020. Because like Christine was saying, you've always been around, like everybody knows Lisa. So it's been good to spend a lot more time with you and do some more stuff with BI, because you really will, you're talking about how creative and generous DJ is. You are really good at saying, what do you think? Here's a good idea. Let's try it, and you provide a lot of good support. So I appreciate that. And something that you have kind of brought to Bisque Imports, or been a part of kind of bringing to life, is my pottery place. Is that right?
It is right. So yeah. So when I first came in and was just talking about random ideas there, by the way, the list is long, and you guys have only seen a couple. The list is long, just ideas that, as studio owners, I think that we always, you always are looking for anybody who can help you anyhow. And so I always had a running list of, man, it would be great if, somebody else could do this for me or with me. Sometimes because of bandwidth but sometimes because of money. We don't have big marketing dollars or people, that it's just us. And so I came with a laundry list of things. One of them, I said, if there is a way that we could help drive customers to our customers, the benefit is obvious to Bisque Imports. Bisque Imports will do well if they are selling their products, right? And so I know that sounds obvious, but there's many different ways you can kind of approach that. So, in our industry, we're fortunate. Suppliers are fortunate. There's only a couple of bigger suppliers. There's some smaller ones, but like if you own a paint your own pottery store, you pretty much know the players in the game. It's not hard. Like we don't have to get discovered. That's not something we have to do. So we can spend our energy and our money on trying to help our customers stay strong, not only because we love them from the bottom of our hearts, but because ultimately we will benefit from that. And so I said, what if we could try to figure something out where we could help them reach their customers? So in this digital age that I'm fortunate enough, if you want to look at it that way, that, when I started it, we were still printing newsletters on paper and mailing them out. And I've watched the change. I know Amy's laughing, but it's real. I found a binder the other day that has the, my original monthly newsletter from I Made This.
Oh my God. I'm picturing printing out one of my Instagram posts and just mailing it out to people and seeing how that goes.
Really?
To me, that's the same thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. But now, when I but the reality is a lot of marketing is through the internet these days. A lot of reaching your customers is through social media, and things like that. And so we looked at obviously influencer marketing. Amy is a walking, talking example of that. Is a thing that is real and is not even getting grip. It has grip. It's a real thing that's going on. And so I said to Bisque Imports, I was like, what could we do that would help drive customers to our customers? And so what we came up with is a lead generation website. And so historically, our customers don't want their customers to find us. So, nobody ever loves it if, someone walks in and says, I bought this case of 20 bowls off the internet. You want to fire it for me? Everybody's always like, no, thank you. Although, by the way, that's the wrong answer, but different conversation.
Right.
Different conversation. But, there is value to when they do find you, what can they do? Because here's the deal. Not a lot of your customers want a case of 20 bowls. They wanted a bowl, right? And so, we said if we were to build a different website that doesn't say Bisque Imports, it doesn't lead back to us. Obviously there's, no phone numbers, no emails that go to Bisque Imports. We could market our products to the end user. Right. And then we could find ways to get people to figure out that website. So one of the challenges for us has been the social media side, sadly, because as you guys know, to get a grip in social media, it's really, your photography matters, what you're putting out there matters. And it's hard for us to get that going on our side, because of the fact that we are a supplier, not a paint your own pottery store. Right. So if I want a lot of pictures of moms and kids painting, unless I'm going to stage that in the Monty Belmont Lounge, I've got to either ask our customers to give us photos, and then there's not cohesiveness in the background change. So we're still trying to figure some of that out. But we said, all right, well, what can we do now while we're trying to kind of conquer the challenges that come up? And we said, all right, well, Google Ads is easy. So Google Ads, a lot of individual studios don't have the kind of dollars to throw at Google ad campaigns. And so we said, well, we can do it. So we've been throwing dollars at Google ad campaigns. For instance, I really need to have a running list of all the ones we've done, but like we'll do vintage trees. We do Bisque in general. We do like Mom's Day. We've done Father's Day. Basically the message that we're always sending is, isn't it a great fun time to go paint pottery? Don't you want to make one of those vintage trees? So again, we're speaking the language. We're not trying to find pottery stores. We're trying to get end users remembering to go paint pottery because it's such great fun. And so then what you need that ad to lead somewhere, right? So people can click on the ad. What it does is it'll take you to this website that we've created that we are just rebranding as mypotteryplace.com. And then when they're there, there's a thing where you can put your zip code in and find a local studio. All right. So I know that hopefully that's translating through the podcast. I know it's kind of a
I think you explained it really well. How does a studio get on that list?
So right now, what we've done is the studios that are listed on there are our members of our loyalty program. And what that is anybody who spends at least $4,000 a year at Bisque Imports is in what we call our Pro Perks program.
Well, that's pretty easy. Again, $4,000 is nothing.
Yeah, it's super easy. Yeah. It's nothing. And I don't, and actually I don't love that statement. And
you're right. Yeah.
For me in my stores, that was super easy. Like I'd spend $4,000 probably in like 3 orders. Mm-hmm. And so we're saying within 12 months spend that much, but there are studios that are smaller that, rural, whatever. So the bar is set at a place where we feel that if you are operating a business, because some people are hobbyists or what do you call them? The production artists, things like that. Mm-hmm. But if you're really running a paint your own pottery store, even if you're in a rural location, and you make Bisque Imports your main suppliers, that might be one of the trade-offs that you do is maybe you need to buy the bulk of your stuff from Bisque Imports, but you should be able to hit that $4,000. And if you find the value of the resources that Bisque Imports offers, then that's a no-brainer. And if you don't, then that's okay. Like you can keep another supplier. But so we have thousands of people are qualified. Most of our customers qualify. And so that part's easy. They're on the map. And then we did have to get people to opt in. I will say that just for you guys that are listening, go to mypotteryplace.com, put your zip code in, see if you see yourself there, check your listing, make sure that it's right. And then just go ahead and email us. You can email marketing@bisqueimports.com if you have any questions about the program or your listing. But I won't get into that here because it certainly kind of gets a little technical and boring for a podcast, but you can
we'll put that in the show notes as well.
Oh,
so you don't have to frantically be writing right now. We'll link it.
Yeah, don't frantically write. Yeah. In a nutshell, I think for the listeners out there, again, remember that the whole goal here is to do things that will drive customers to you. So we rebranded literally like last week. Well, we're actually in the process. It's not even done yet. We started rebranding last week. And that's because I had a really great conversation with, Amy wasn't there.
I wasn't there. She likes to pretend I was there, and I will take credit because she said it's a great conversation. Yeah.
You were there in my head. Yeah, Amy was supposed to be there. She wasn't feeling well that night. But I was at a convention actually, with a group of people, and we were all talking about the lead generation site, and we kind of decided that the branding needed to change to make sure it was user friendly. So, that being said, we had just come back in July. We rented, and this was a lot of money, my friends. We did the National Girl Scout Convention. We rented 2 booths, so 20 feet of booth space so that we could put 4 tables in there and do make and takes, and meet the Girl Scouts. And so we went not as Bisque Imports. We went as, at the time, DIY Pro Studios, which was the previous name. Okay. I talk really fast, so I'm going to slow down.
No, you're doing great.
Yeah, But that's another example of the kinds of things we can do. So through this lead generation site, this ability to get people to that website, however we do it, they can put their zip code in and find you guys. These things open up. We can run Google ads. We can go to trade shows and represent pottery stores around the country and the world. Really, there. I think we have international studios on there as well. Amy and Kathy, who do the designer Bisque products in the past, Amy's painting a rainbow, and somebody might comment and say like, "Hey, I love that rainbow. Can I make one?" And then she used to not be able to really say like, "Go to Bisque Imports." So now she can say, find a studio near you, go to mypotteryplace.com. So there is a tie to influencers. We are looking into doing more with that. I will give you guys information I've never said out loud. So here you go, everybody listening.
Ooh, I'm ready.
Ready? Put your ear to speaker.
We're leaned in.
We're all leaning in.
Yeah, leaning in. I leaned in too. Very soon we will have an announcement about another big program that I've been working on and are about to sign some paperwork on. It's going to be a good one, and it'll be yet another opportunity where we can take advantage of this organization, soon to be announced.
I have a guess. I'm not going to guess, but I have a guess.
Yeah, they have contractually, they will be putting the My Pottery Place website will go out in their newsletters. It will go out in their social media. They are paying for influencers just for these products. It's going to be great. And so this program has really opened up avenues for us to try to get customers to you. Like, I always want to say this one, except for this is me sharing the concept, but not making a promise. But like when I was a studio owner, I used to say like, I just wish the TCSA would put an ad in HGTV magazine. Right? You know what I mean? Like that. And I know that, and here's the deal. Bisque Imports probably isn't going to do that either, friends, because it costs a whole lot of money. But the concept is that, what can we afford?
Well, and as an internet person, like I spend a lot of time on the internet, and I see all the time on my TikTok feed, teenagers are going to paint your own pottery places, and they're going viral because they're like date night with my boyfriend, and they go. And I find in the work that I do with studios, they always want to go viral. And I keep telling them that's not doing you personally any good. It's not bringing people into your studio. It's helping, studios across the country make money, but not you specifically. And so being able to tie in, even these like really niche TikTok influencers, being able to get them working with My Pottery Place is going to help so much more than just a random studio going viral because there's like a cute handprint reel that they've made.
Right. Exactly. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so Lisa, you are doing wonderful things to help us. Now, when you were talking about like those pictures with the kids and everything, if we take a picture is from Bisque Imports, is there something that we can use like a hashtag? I know those are kind of fading away, but like what can we do to help you, help us, help others?
I love that. Yeah.
That's good sense, Christine. That's good. Help us, help you, help others. Here's visions that Lisa has, and usually when in the shower. That sounded really bad, but you know what I mean.
Let's talk more about the visions in the shower. No,
okay. But no, for real, I would love for us to create a portal. We kind of have one, but we're not really using it properly. I would like Bisque Imports to have a very easy place where you guys can upload pictures. And you have to know we're going to pick through them. We're going to sort through them, because branding is important and blah, blah, blah. But to have content is great. We have talked about trying to get you guys excited about doing, like, if you're making reels, send it. The other thing that I think is going to be a little faster and easier for us is I've got my marketing team getting ready to contact you. So those of you that are already putting out reels and great pictures, and like, we're just going to go at you. Going to call you up and say, can I have that? Can I borrow that?
I mean, that's how they do it. Like I've gotten a lot of connections with bigger companies because I did free marketing, and they turned around and either paid me money or paid me in credit, which is also like, I would do anything for $25 Bisque bucks.
Absolutely. And that's the thing is we need what we need, right? Like there's a kind of, we know what we need and we have to get it curated. But when we see something that we just did it the other day, somebody posted a picture of Crafty Chica's Dia de los Muertos lady. Really probably said that really badly, and I apologize.
Better than me.
But it was beautiful. And so, we literally called the studio and said, can we use that picture? Like to put that stuff up on, that's a similar, but related thing. get the picture, put it as a related picture on their website so that you guys can have access to that picture. So just trying to make those connections. That's why the original title, when I kicked my foot in the door at Bisque Imports and needed a title because they weren't hiring, I said, what about resource director? Because that was my jam. Like, whatever I can do. Can I get these guys photos they can use in their marketing? Can I do things to help them market their studio? So my pottery place is a place where we can, basically it's all about that website. So ultimately, eventually we will do paid Facebook ads. We will do paid Instagram ads. We're just waiting till we build up those sites. I don't want to ask somebody to go see us on Facebook when there wasn't anything there.
Mm-hmm.
We got to put content up on those things.
Right.
But we have had success with the Google ads and the conventions and things like that. And again, whenever I say that to a group of 1,000 studios, you're going to get the people that have said, I don't know. I've never seen anything. But on the flip side, guys, I've had people tell me they've had bookings of 300 strong Girl Scout adventures because of it. And yeah, that was one studio, but it was one studio.
Right. Yeah, it's awesome.
Studios leads to 50 studios. Maybe we can get this going and it will help, right?
Mm-hmm. And how, talking about the Girl Scout convention, like, how was that? Were people excited? Like, were you getting a lot of good feedback from that?
Yeah, we got great feedback from it's funny. We had the kids, we did 3,000 ornaments, went out the door.
Wow.
It was crazy. It was mayhem. And we had Girl Scouts and grown-ups telling us that we were the best ones there at the convention. And I literally was like, guys, NASA's here. Like,
you beat space? That's
right.
Crazy.
Like, are you sure you're looking? Because there's a rocket over there. They love to do stuff. And so, it was great. It was wonderful. But with that kind of trade show, you get a lot of local people, because they can go. And so I think that,
Lisa has ADD.
I do. Don't pop up messages or I will change the order. Okay, sorry. So at a trade show like that, you get a lot of local people. So we had a lot of our Florida studios. We're getting a lot of them turned back in, but over in Kentucky, maybe not so much. Doesn't mean it's not worth doing it. Word of mouth, we all know, is the strongest marketing that there is. And so anytime we can get in front of an audience, a Girl Scout, anybody who's interested in painting pottery, we'll do it. And we'll just hope that trickles down. We actually got a lot of inquiries at this Bisque Imports through the site, because emails do come to us, obviously. We got a lot of inquiries from councils and from places like that, where, they were saying, I was there, I was interested. And so we're emailing them back and saying, here's how you guys can find your studios. Now, on the flip side, I just saw a post the other day, and I actually called the studio owner. She posted and said, I'm not selling any Girl Scout stuff. I don't think it's working, or some negative sort of connotation about the Girl Scout. And I called her and I said, listen, I'm just curious. What have you done have you contacted your local Girl Scouts? And she was like, well, not really,
Right.
But that's the thing, guys. Like, it's got to be a two-way street. And so, if as far as the Girl Scout stuff goes, on the Girl Scouts website, there is the same thing. Put your zip code in, and it gets you higher up than, it's great if you have a local troop that the mom, like, that's great. But that's one troop leader of one troop, right? If you can get up that ladder and you can get a service unit coordinator or what do you call them? Council leaders. Those, if you can get them to, you never know, right? If you can get them to, those are the ones that can potentially get the word out to, the 60 troops in your area times 10 girls in each one. That's a lot of kids. So
I remember you talking about that at convention, and I feel like you even said you make up a little inexpensive gift and say, hi, who I am, where I'm from, what the goal is, everything, and bringing it to them. And it was I haven't done it yet, so don't yell at me yet, but it's on my list, and it was a great advice, and it's on, but it was.
Well, but Christine, it's so funny, because I'm sure that I told the story that, as she just said, I haven't done it yet. Guys, I have been there. It's hard to be the only one who's doing all the things. And then the other side of that is watch out when you do, because, when I did it, my very first time back and it was a mailer back in the day. I mailed it out. It went to 300 troops, 300 troops, all of them having at least 10 kids in them. All of a sudden they started calling, and I was like, oh my God, you got to be ready, because, if your marketing efforts work, then they work. Now, what we're doing, another tie-in. So we tried the convention. We'll probably do it again. It's every 3 years. Why not? I think next time it's in Richmond, DC. It's in DC. And so that's close to where I live. It'll probably be easy, less expensive. I don't have to do all the hotel stuff crazy. So we'll probably go again. But here's one that I'm really excited about. We just made a mailing list, with all the councils on it. And we have to get it approved by the Girl Scouts. So everybody knock on wood, but we're going to draft an email, get it approved. Once it's approved, we're going to send that out to all the councils for you. Now, could you have done that on your own? Yes, you could. But I get it. I get it that you're busy. I get it that it's hard to get around it. So we're going to do it. So these are the kinds of things that we're doing that is, again, we're just anything that I can think of that's going to try to get you guys business.
Yeah.
So does this mean we send you the gift and say thank you? Or like what's your favorite kind of candy?
I know. I think it's wine territory.
Oh, wine. Okay, that's worth it. That is absolutely.
I've heard you say before, Lisa, that you, on maybe like a day that your studio was closed, would invite your Girl Scout, your local troop, to come in and have their meeting there, and they may not be painting, but they're looking, and when their parents are coming to pick them up, they're saying, I want to come back and paint that. I think that's a genius idea.
Absolutely. And I'm going to clarify, Amy, because it wasn't a local troop, because you got to watch that, because they will want to come and have their Tuesday night meeting in your store every single Tuesday, and that's not so nice. I mean, if you want to do it, more power to you, but I didn't want to become the free rental, room in the library. But what I did was, again, go up that ladder. So the way that the Girl Scouts are structured, there is GSUSA, which is the United States, right? Think of it as a map, right? Then we come down a level and we're in councils. Councils are large areas, but probably a paint your own pottery store, you guys should be able to serve at least one council, because you're talking about people who might be driving a half hour, 45 minutes. Now, depending on your location, my store, Maryland, is very strangely shaped. It's got that little skinny stick part, right? So I was kind of in the little skinny stick. And so it turned out that I was close to 3 councils. And one of them was West Virginia, you know what I mean? Because of where you are. So you got to look at your map. Like you don't, think outside the box. You might have councils, or if there's no studios near you, and they're willing to drive it, or you'll go to them. If you're willing to drive it.
I've done many a badge-a-thon where you just go to a church one day in the South, you go to the church, and
when you're talking about
it out.
When you're talking 300 Girl Scouts, yes, I will drive my car, and yes, I will bring it back and deliver it back to you, because it was 300 people in one shot. So what I did is I went up the ladder. So you have USA, then you have councils, then you go down one level and you have service units. So service units is usually around 50 or so troops that are like super local to your zip code. And there's a lady, my lady's name is Bonnie. Love her. Bonnie Cooney. She's like 7 feet tall.
Shout out Bonnie.
I love her. Love her. I'm going to call her and tell her I shouted her out today. So anyways, love Bonnie. And so Bonnie was in charge of the troop leaders in the council, right? So your service unit coordinator has probably more than 2 meetings, but the 2 meetings that mattered in my world were cookie booth meeting and end of year meeting. And so all of the troop leaders show up for cookie booth meeting because they want to fight. They literally have to fight. They draw numbers out of a hat. There's the prime locations, and they duke it out for these things. Right?
That's amazing.
So they would all show up. So what I said to Bonnie is, I said, if you want to do that meeting in my store, as long as it's not Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday, or Sunday, I'm fine. And so they ended up coming every year for a cookie booth meeting. And then at the end of the year, they came and did a mom and me for the troop leaders. And I was careful to not overmarket it. Don't be pushy. And this girl, that's hard. I had to rein it in, hide in the office.
No, not Lisa.
I know. And at the, I would welcome them in the beginning. At the end, I would just quietly walk around and hand them a little coupon. And I was there, standing there if they had any questions. And that's how I made sure that everybody knew we were there. You want to have that Girl Scout products on display. Mm-hmm. So, you guys have to do your side, but we're trying.
And so on the Bisque Imports website, just to kind of recap an action list of what, studios can do. On the Bisque Imports website, I imagine there's a lot of verbiage about how this is official Girl Scout Bisque. We kind of zoomed right past that, but that Bisque Imports has official Bisque for Girl Scouts. And studios probably should be a little proactive there and maybe paint a small sample of one, send it to...
Or use our pictures. We've got
pictures, yep.
Yeah, we've got them there for you guys. If you go to the Girl Scout page on the website, if you scroll down, I'm kind of working on that landing page a little bit, but if you scroll down, there are 4 links. There's a link to the Council Finder. There's a link to high-res images that you guys can download and use. Nice. There, and we've also made flyers. that are ready to print. I think that we made them in poster size as well as like 8.5 by 11. I cannot remember, but we made a couple different sizes. And then something else is there. I can't remember. The pieces themselves are there. Obviously, the second round of pieces also very much on purpose are supposed to appeal to not just Girl Scouts, but anybody.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to say that they're adorable. I am so excited. And yes, I was just going to bring that up, is that they're good for Girl Scouts, but they're good for everyone too.
But they're good for everyone. Yep.
Even the bridge. I was amazed that
the bridge is cute.
There's little ones that paint the bridge and they have they just skip over that it is Girl Scouts, which is fine.
Right. They don't, and we did that on purpose. We made the Girl Scout trefoil is like that little, I forget what they're called. It's like a thing on a bridge that's at the top. It's got a name.
Yeah. We're not bridge makers here. We don't know.
I think it's a keystone. I think that sounds familiar. I don't know.
Sounds good.
It's that little thing at the top. And so, if you're not a Girl Scout, you're not going to see that. And, but if you are, you are. And
yeah.
So, yeah.
Are there any plans for more Girl Scout Bisque in the future?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Or the Girl Scouts would get very mad at us.
Oh, sure.
We're under contract for a while. That involves new pieces. Our next round is going into production. Same thing. We have every intention of really kind of trying to hit. Girl Scouts are very heavy into the things we all know, like camping and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But also they're huge on STEM. Which, and again, isn't everyone right now. All your school systems in general. So like we made I love that rocket bank, the vintage.
Oh, me too.
Right. So you'll see us trying to focus on things that are going to certainly resonate with the Girl Scout, but hopefully grown-ups, kids, everything.
Well, I live in Western Pennsylvania, so we have rivers and like lakes and stuff. And that canoe is, I'm so excited to get that in here and painted, because I know that it's gonna, absolutely, it's gonna be hard to keep
tell your customers, but and watch your samples on purpose. The trefoil's only on one side.
Yeah, I love that.
Somebody does pick it up and say, "Well, what's this thing?" Well, just that's the back, obviously for you. That's the back, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
exactly.
For a Girl Scout, it's the front. So.
That's funny. Well, the next area that I'd like to ask you about is, speaking of pieces from Bisque Imports, what is your favorite piece that Bisque Import, going away from, it could be a Girl Scout, but what is your favorite piece that you guys offer?
It can be Girl Scout, it can be Amy Y'all, it can be Amy Y'all, it can be
Amy Y'all, or how about
Amy? I figured I would ask because,
conflict of interest. That's very smart, fine. Christine.
So I have an interesting answer. So, I'm not sure if you noticed, but Bisque Imports carries approximately 7,400,000 pieces.
That's amazing.
I noticed.
Give or take.
I noticed because I'm in charge of trying to market them all. So that's really hard for me. But here's how I would answer that. One of the things that I came in 3 years ago and I was not on the design team at the time. Since then, I wormed my way onto the design team. And I'm really happy about that because, I'm super proud and happy of the things that we are making. So my favorite things are our newer things. We really, really, really have some great things in the works. And then again, Amy, I know you were joking, but it's real. Like Amy makes amazing things. Kathy makes amazing things. We just had design meeting today, actually. And, we were talking about plates and, Amy, we were talking about a specific type of plate and Amy's rainbow dish was the top seller in the list that we pulled.
Okay. Go Amy.
Love that. Keep buying those, please, everyone.
And Amy goes through this process. You guys, it's not easy. It's not easy to come up with ideas. It's not easy to translate them to our market. And so, designers, be they Amy and Kathy or the team at Bisque Imports, it's tricky to come up with, and not everything's going to be a winner, but I'm really, really proud of the things that we have coming out. So keep your eye out. We are trying to also be better at helping you find things, working on our filters, working on our categories and our drop-down menus. You'll see some changes there because, again, we have a lot of stuff. It's hard to sort through it. And so I would point out a couple of things that we've done that were quick fixes is if you're on the Bisque Imports website, we now have categories under Bisque. We have new Bisque, which everybody has, but sometimes ours has like 200 things in it, right? Mm-hmm. So we also made that breakdown into arriving soon so that we're able to show you that we didn't used to do this. As a company, we would like wait till we had it to say, look at this new thing. Now, as soon as it hits the water, we're telling you it's coming. So you have a larger window to know about brand new things. So the arriving soon category is new. And then we have back in stock that came from the pandemic. People were just jonesing to know when that mug was finally going to get here. And so you can check the back in stock category. And don't forget that at Bisque Imports, whenever something is out of stock, if it's not yet here because it's brand new, or if it just had been out of stock, we have a button you can click that will send you an email when that thing is received into inventory.
That is one of the best emails I receive. I was going to say, to be honest.
I think I got like 3 of them last week, and I was so excited. And then like I hurried up and I got on there, and I love that. I appreciate that feature for sure.
It's helpful, and it's helpful. I know for me as a store owner, like I would forget if something had been out of stock at one of my suppliers for a while. I'd forget that I had it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
especially before they landed the point of sale system. Like all of a sudden I'd see it again, and I'd be like, oh, I forgot about that. It was a good seller, and I forgot because out of stock for 2 months or whatever. So and then the other one that I would bring up is Studio Staples. So if you under Bisque, there's another one that says Studio Staples. That was my effort at, we carry so much stuff, which is overall is a great thing. But like, man, if you were just looking for like a plain old mug, you had to sort through like 82 mugs that had stuff on it. And so the Studio Staples category is another one that's very helpful because it's like the plainness of the plain: mugs, plates, bowls.
Yep. I actually just put a post in Chatter looking for a list of things that you should have, and someone just directed me towards that, and I was like, what is this? Yeah. And like, and they're
nice.
In like big cases. I loved it. I appreciate that so much.
The master cartons, is that what they're called? Yes. Saves my life. I mean, I'm waiting for those Uptown mugs to get back in stock, you know that. So I'm ready for that. Yes. And that's I will be ordering many of those.
Yeah, things. And I think we just added like a bunch of new master carton options. So that's great. That's awesome.
So Amy, what is your favorite piece from Bisque Imports? You can, I mean, if you want to say one from Amy, and you can say one from another one, like, let me hear yours.
Well, the Uptown mug, right?
The Uptown mug is my bestseller. That's what I put my rainbow mugs on, which is why I'm so desperate for them to get back in stock. That is the most consistent of mine. I would say from my Bisque line, I really like the classic cup. That's from like, not the first round of Bisque that I put out, but the second. I'm a cocktail girl. Like I love coming home from work and like Elaine makes me a cocktail and puts it in that. And it's just like so nice and satisfying. And I'm in deep Christmas mode right now. I'm like in the studio. It's a nightmare. And I'm just like so obsessed with all of the flat party ornaments from Bisque Imports because they translate to other things so well. Like I had a few cases of the penguin party ornament, I think is what it's called, from last year that I just never got through. And I've turned those into bears, like elves, like so many different things than just like what the shape is supposed to be. So that one, and to highlight one, it's the classic Santa, because he is my Nutcracker, he's my Santa, he's my Grinch, he's everything. Yep. He is everything. He is.
That is, Amy, you made me think of something. That is another use of the My Pottery Place website. It's an intention of ours is that we curate things so we put products, projects, and designer stuff on there, right? And so we curate that. So we don't put all of Bisque Imports product on it because, oh my gosh, we do like what's seasonal, what's trending, what's right now. But all of Amy's stuff is there in case she mentions it. All of Kathy's stuff is there. But the other thing that you guys can do easier now is sometimes you can't have 5 samples of one thing. So when we have our painted samples, it's easier to have your customers go look at mypotteryplace.com. Then you're not showing them the Bisque Imports website. Mm-hmm. And so we do have plans to password protect it. So that anybody who is again in the program, you guys can log in. We'll house the BITV videos over there. Poor Lindsay, God love her. Whenever she makes the BITV videos, she films 2 intros and 2 outros. So she literally says, hi, I'm Lindsay with Bisque Imports. And then they cut. And then she goes, hi, I'm Lindsay with My Pottery Place.
Oh, sure.
And my team actually will splice together 2 different videos because we know that you might want to show that video to your customers, but you don't want it to have BI branding.
Yeah.
And so that is another use for the website. And the pictures and painted samples are there now. We don't have a whole lot of videos over there yet because we have to wait till it's password protected, but that is coming soon, in the works.
And so to talk about like the pro perks for just a second, you mentioned resources and, what are the resources that you get, or what is the perk of being a pro perk? And how many times can I say perk?
I mean, street cred.
Yeah, absolutely.
We hope to make swag one day. Run your studio like a pro. That's my thing. Okay. But we have done so many different things. We have had, sales, cause you can't have too many. But we've had some that are just for pro members. Right now, I just put a reminder, there's a private Facebook group. So another place where they can chat with each other, and talk about things. But I just put a reminder in there that today is the last day to claim a free case of the cardinal bird. Yep.
I need to do that.
We've done silk screen giveaways. We do giveaways all the time. And so when they go to the perks page, there's like little secret things there that only they can see. So when you're in the program, by the way, log into the website, guys. You have to be logged in. When you're logged in and you are in the program, you actually can see more videos, more tech sheets. And then when you're not in the program or you're logged out, you literally don't see some stuff. It'll say, this is a pro resource. Contact us for information. So, we've done Bisque bucks on your account. We've done giveaways. We've done, there's all the lead generation stuff, presence on the map. Gosh, you're making me try to think of stuff. Oh, I know. Here's one. This one, I'm now hiding behind my hands. So we gave early access to Ceramajam tickets to people in the pro program, and they sure did sell out.
I was going to say.
Yep. Sorry. But that's the thing, guys. I mean, that's what a loyalty program is all about. Loyalty programs are about, giving your best customers some perks. And so, yeah, early access to programs.
So what you're saying is you're kind of Taylor Swift of PYOP.
We are.
Yeah.
But, again, we really don't mean it to be exclusive. We set the bar, we think, at a very achievable, reachable thing. But we do want you to pay attention. I did feel a little bad. We had, the second, Ceramajam always sells out in 8 hours. But, people were like, I didn't know. So, guys, open your emails. I know emails are a pain in the butt, but check your Facebook groups, open your emails. We're trying to tell you when we're giving you a special treat.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I think that was a very good rundown of many things BI offers. Is there anything happening at Bisque Imports that we didn't cover that you're looking forward to, or, this is not, I guess I can't ask if there's a sale happening right now. There is a sale happening right now. Maybe we can shout that out. There seems to be more coming, and they are certainly announced in the email. So, like you said, check your email.
Well, I know that this podcast is not necessarily airing on the day that we're making it.
Yeah.
So always check and know that the way that we do promotions, it is, we do have a goal. And so what we have as a marketing team, we've been trying to make sure that, let's say, Valentine's Day is coming up. Our sale with heart stuff and lovey-dovey stuff is probably happening in late November, early December, right? We don't want to have that sale on Valentine's Day. We're trying to be 2 months ahead of you guys and helping you stock up for what you need to be doing. So, just pay attention to that. If we're having a sale and it's themed, which most of them are, that theme is for a reason. Sometimes it's just because things are fun, but a lot of times it's about something that you ought to be thinking about in your studio.
And we appreciate that hand holding for us as studio owners. That is
a good reminder.
Because when it comes up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I should be doing that. So I appreciate that immensely.
Summer camp guide is again. Bisque Imports used to put summer camp guide out in May, and when I got on the team, I was like, we're done at May. I've already planned. It's stupid. And they didn't. There was no malicious intention there. Obviously, it just wasn't something that they thought about. We now put that out in January.
That's awesome.
And that's not just a pro perk thing. That's for every business member.
And that's important. And if you're not in the program, again, it's not meant to be exclusive. We have perks for everybody. So obviously, our regular sales, those are for everybody. We do have videos and resources that are for everybody. And what we've been doing with things like projects and guides is we give our pro perks access for that first year. Once a year hits, we open it up to everybody. So the newest guide will go out to pro perks only, but there are 13 other guides that are available for everyone at that point.
Number 7 for summer camp is actually really nice. If anybody,
I know.
I think that's the one. I think that's the one I did. But
yeah, some of them are really big. They're all still relevant if you look through. So for sure.
Yeah, they're great.
So one thing I wanted to bring up real quick before we lose your fabulous brain. Can we talk about the stoneware that is coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good call.
Good call.
That's why Christine is the star of the show.
No, I love stoneware. I love stoneware. That's my favorite. And there's so many really cool pieces that aren't just a mug, a plate. Like there's some really neat things, and that I've been telling my customers, and like they're on the edge of they can't wait. Like they're like, let's get, like they get it in here awesome. Because we want to buy them. So
good. Well, that was intentional too. So we do, we just had another meeting with our next round going into production. We knew, our partners at Mako were the first creators, well, not in the world, but like for this industry, they were the first ones to bring out some stoneware pieces. And, a lot of the line that was already available to you guys was dinnerware. And so lots of plates and mugs, which is great, and some vases and things like that. But what was lacking, we thought, was the patio and garden stuff.
Yes.
And so, absolutely. When you're exposed to water and elements, that sturdier clay body is just going to do better outside. And so we were like, well, of course we'll make a couple mugs and plates, but we know that you have access to that through Mako. We sell all that stuff. So why don't we go at the stuff that's not yet being made, so we've got a bunch of mushrooms and bird houses and bird feeders and things like that. Some super cute stuff, is already on the water. It's just slated to be here, hopefully, by the middle of December. I don't know what's going on with that. That boat is apparently in the water going around in circles.
If I could go get the boat, I would go get the boat.
I would swim out there and just like put it up in the water.
We need the A-team is what's happening.
It's coming. But the good news is we've got other stuff that should be right behind it. We do plan on expanding the line. We just met with Mako. Everybody's, all hand holding and working together. Mako is working with Bisque Imports. We're going to create an exclusive starter package of glazes.
Oh, wow.
Soon, which will be coming out. So it's just, and again, it's love. I love any manufacturer, our friends at Scott, our friends at Mako, everybody that we work with is having that common goal that you just want people to thrive, have new programs, have new pieces. And again, it does filter back and help your business as well. But I love that everybody is just as invested in doing what we can to help you guys be successful out there.
Like I said, as a studio owner, we appreciate it. And we see it too. I have to tell you, the first time I ever ordered from Bisque Import, it was a smaller order, and I received that little bag of candy. The very first time, I was like, what is this? And then it came the second time. And I feel like that's what really my love affair started with some candy. So I appreciate those cowtails from the love and the support that you give the studios. We really feel it. So thank you for that.
Christine, have you ever been to Bisque Imports before?
No, I
okay.
have not yet.
You have to go. It's so fun. And you can see them like packing all the orders and stuff. And there's just a giant tub. Maybe they've changed it, but last time I saw it was a giant Tupperware of the candy that they just can reach in, and so nice. Well,
I'm even gluten-free, and I still tell you that when those cowtails show up, I'm like, not today. I'm going to go with all the side effects. So thank you.
Yeah. Sometimes cowtails are lunch here in the studio. So
that's nice. Yeah. And that's Bisque Imports. We have a beautiful, I think it's 4,000 square feet. I'm terrible at numbers, but it's big. It's wedding venue size, event space, which is they're just fortunate. It's an old textile mill. And so not only is it a beautiful building, but it really does, again, it's a benefit for you guys because it's this sprawl. They ride bikes around the warehouse. It's that big. And so, but because of that, our stock rate right now, our in-stock rate is 98%.
It's amazing.
During the holidays, you know what I mean?
It's amazing.
Yeah. That's the other 98. I think our in-stock rate is 95, but that's what it is. We're shipping orders out within one business day. 98% of our orders are going out.
And that's another thing. Your staff is amazing. The amount of times I've called and I said, so I just ordered something and I accidentally forgot to put black glaze on there. How quick can you get it to me? And they're like, does tomorrow work? And your whole team, like I said, the company I'm very appreciative of. I think I've even made a little thing that said, the best Bisque Import worker that helped Christine today. And I was like, thank you. It was, and I just, I'm very supportive or very appreciative of the support.
Thank you. And we really appreciate it. We've, if people have been, go out and give us a Google review, you guys. Not only because we all need them and get them from your customers, but also because I really do share those. I share those with people who write in and they'll be like, Elizabeth was amazing. She did this thing. And my hair just stood up because I really do send that to Elizabeth, and God love her. It makes her day. And the warehouse guys, we make sure that we tell them when you guys are being vocal about those compliments and concerns, of course, but show a little love. It's always helpful.
Yeah, I think that's a great place to end. That was like a good action item for us, and, make sure that we're sharing how much we love everyone, because especially in the holidays or in the tough times, and
in the world. And Christine just said it. I mean, if you guys didn't hear it yourselves, but put candy in your orders, apparently it makes a big difference when that person comes to pick up their pottery, toss in, maybe not a cowtail, they're too big, but get those little round ones, the little individually wrapped ones.
Oh, that's smart.
Those little things do matter to your customers. So again, if whatever your suppliers are doing that's lighting your fire, take that home and do it for your own customers, and you will see the same types of results.
I love that.
Nice. Well, thank you so much, Lisa. This has been
Thank you guys for having me. It
nice
was fun
to chat. I think we covered a lot of ground.
We did. Yeah. You guys know where to find me. I know I talk fast, so Lisa at or marketing at. If you have questions about anything we talked about, feel free. And thank you guys very much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so, Amy, do you want to do a closing?
Yeah, I'm gonna go eat a cowtail because you have inspired me, and that's my closing. No, it was great to see everyone, and we learned a lot. And like and subscribe. That's a YouTube thing, but we're gonna bring it over to the podcast area, and we'll see y'all next time.
And thank you, Lisa Feltz, the marketing and sales director for Bisque Import. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Woo! Listen, we'll get it together one day.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
That is, you guys, had so much information. I'm writing things down. That's what the best part about. I love that the people that we talked to, I'm learning things as I'm also talking to you. So I love that. I appreciate your brain.
Yeah, it was great.
No problem. Yeah, it was good. Thank you. It's hard for me because I talk about that stuff all the time, and it makes me feel like people are sick of hearing it, but I have to remember other people can turn it off if they've heard it 17 times.
Yeah. And I think it's going to get to people that won't have known this stuff, Yeah.
You speak passionately too. You can hear it in your voice that you love this and you just want people
to show emotion with my voice.
I'm just saying, I get it. That's, but it's a lot of information. And I think that sometimes if you hear that,
Glazed Over is brought to you by the CCSA, the Contemporary Ceramic Studios Association. Thank you to our moderators, Amy Williams and Christine Steele. Executive production by Louise Blazucki. Learn more about the CCSA at ccsaonline.org.